get us started. So, hey guys, I'm Shelley, and we are on week 3 of the 6 weeks to success. I'm really glad you guys are all here. Does everybody know everybody?
Yes.
Crystal, did you get a chance to meet Shaughnessy? Shaughnessy is Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shaughnessy's got her business on the road this week. Where are you? Tell me again.
I'm in Washington State right now.
Washington State, visiting family and taking your business virtually and long distance just works. Last week I was in Wyoming with very minimal cell coverage and still booked several parties, and it worked just fine. Carol, I think, is in her home office or her office in Walnut Creek doing your You're in Walnut Creek? Okay, CPA. So, clearly we've got lots and lots of flexibility. Crystal, where are you tonight?
I'm at home right now.
Yay, made it home.
Yeah.
Okay, I just walked in the door from a doctor's appointment. So the point being that, so we're week 3 with 6 weeks to success, and today's topic is host coaching, but I do want to kind of just give everybody a chance to recap from last week. But we're heading into the height of the summer. It's June 25th, coming up on 4th of July next week. And what y'all want to be doing is watching for all the tips and techniques and ways that you can be super, super flexible with your business during the summer months. They're some of the most fun opportunities to do neat, unique, different kinds of things and take your business along with you. The kiss of death is to just set it aside, say you're taking a couple months off because it's summer, and expect to have business ready to go come September, because it's not going to happen. So plan to be really, really flexible. I was sitting in the doctor's office messaging people, inviting them for recipe night tomorrow, and for my freezer workshop on Saturday, just from my cell phone. So lots of fun ideas coming out about that. Does anybody have any suggestions about that? Like Shaughnessy, how many virtual parties are you doing while you're on the road this week?
Right now, I am running 2 to 3. So 2, and then I'm running one for my new consultant who just signed Friday.
Oh.
Template for her and helping her. So really 3.
Really 3 of them. Congratulations.
Yes.
Good. You need to tell us, introduce the new gal on our team page. Is she there?
She's not here right now.
But
no, she's actually in Hawaii.
Okay. Good deal. I hear they eat in Hawaii and cook.
Yes, they do.
Awesome. Well, feel free to
recruit lead. The show she's running booked from her show and wants to become a consultant, and there's somebody in that show that's interested in a consultant. So she'll be a director very soon.
She'll be a director very soon. That's great. Excellent. I love it. Well, please do add her to our team page, introduce her so we can add your name and all the others with their hearts on our banner, so we can toot for everybody. There's just some astronomical growth going on, and we set our recruiting goal for the year at 100 new teammates for the year. And at the beginning of the year, that looked like a monstrously gargantuan, hugely not attainable goal. And I kept saying, you watch, what happens is you add 2 or 3, who add 2 or 3, who add 2 or 3, and it starts growing exponentially. So, and that's what we're doing. We just passed last year's total, which is great. Less than halfway through the year. So we're focusing specifically on our host coaching today. Last week's topic, week 2 for the 6 weeks to success program, was on prospecting and getting bookings. And Shaughnessy did a tremendously awesome training. Raise your hand if you listened to her training. Crystal, you were on live with us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. How'd you do with your homework? Any specific wows that you learned from your homework?
Yeah, there was it was pretty good. I have it, let's see. I liked it about all the different bags that they, the gift bags and stuff, that was pretty cool. And it was about the booking envelopes. That was good, putting dates in there and small products, just small little things for them. And how to, what was the other thing? how to connect with new people and share, be friendly, dress for success, be prepared with all of your material.
Mm,
And yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it.
awesome. That's awesome. You asked me a question or commented you were had prepped your mini catalogs. Was it
Yes, I passed out a couple last night, but it was, I don't know, it was uneventful, I thought. So they took it, but they didn't want to give any info to me. So hopefully they'll call me, but they didn't want to give me any of their info. So.
And Sonacy or Carol, if you have a tip for Crystal, you're going about your business. Your job is to give away 10 of those mini catalogs each week, and you attach the drawing slip to it with the idea that you're giving them your info and you're getting theirs in response. You're trading information. Can you give Crystal your technique for how tips for how you actually get people to give you fill this out and give you their contact info? Anybody want to hit that?
Is this when I'm just out and about or when I'm like at a vendor fair?
Out and about.
Out and about.
Prospecting.
Well, I mean, I try to have the contact info sheet attached to the mini catalog and trade the mini catalog for the contact info.
Do you always get 10 new bits of pieces of contact info for every 10 you give out?
I'm not perfect on my percentages there. No.
Oh, none of us are. If you get 6 or 7 out of 10, you're doing really well.
Yeah, they just didn't want to give me their info or give me back that little piece of paper. So I just said, well, my contact was already on the mini thing. They go, well, I have your number. I'll call you. And I said, well, can you fill out your info so I can follow up with you? No, I prefer not to. So I did like 3 or 4 people, 4, something like that last night. And they just didn't want to.
Where were you?
Yeah, Costco.
Oh, at Costco. Okay.
Yeah.
Shauna, do you have any tips for that? You're on mute.
I have had that happen a couple times. I usually feel it out and I'll talk to them a little bit more, and then I might just say, hey, when's a good time to follow up with you? I just put what the best way to contact you. And sometimes if they still refuse to give it to me, then I just say, okay, sounds good.
Yeah, you don't want to push it. No problem.
They just didn't want to have any part of it last night. I couldn't get anybody's contact. They got my minis and my, information, but they said, well, I'll look it over and call you. I prefer that and not give out my info.
Okay, good deal.
So.
Thanks for effort out there doing that. I will tell you, very similar to what Shaughnessy was talking about. I'll tear the little goodie off and I'll go. Part of my job is handing out 10 of these little mini catalogs every single week. I'd love this one to be yours, and it's in my hand. I'm not handing it to him. It's in my hand. I'd love this one to be yours. Would you like it? Yes or no? Great. And then they say, oh yeah, and I go, fabulous, good. Here's a pen. Let me just we'll exchange info.
Okay.
Exchange info. So here's a pen, and you hand this to them with the pen, and you're still holding this. And so you do it several times, and it gets more and more natural every time you do it.
Okay.
And go ahead and fill that out. My info's right here. We'll exchange. That way I can make sure you get free recipes and get all the news, before everybody else. Then you're chatting them up. Oh my gosh, your kids are so cute. Do they help you in the kitchen? You've got broccoli and crescent rolls in your basket. Are you making a broccoli ring for tomorrow night's dinner? While they're just filling it out. Just hand it to them with a pen.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. And if they don't want to, no problem. But,
Okay.
we're both busy. That's why I can make sure I follow up with you, and I can help you with any Pamper Chef questions you have. So does that help a little bit?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Keep at it. Okay, keep at it.
Okay.
All right, fabulous. I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that we can, whoopsie, what did I do? So that we can take a look at our topic for this week and kind of blast through this. This is host coaching, and raise your hand if you are a host coaching pro, an absolute pro. You got it all down. No, seriously? I've got an advanced director, a director on this line, and they're not raising their hand. So that's
Good
absolutely
training.
training. Yeah. Yeah, me either. And it goes and fits and starts. And I will tell you about host coaching. It's one of my favorite topics because when I teach on host coaching, like I'm going to do tonight, you guys, my host coaching improves because I remind myself of all the things I stopped doing, dang it. And what happens is you can lift your whole business up. Host coaching solves everything, in my opinion. So let's see how it works. So our topic this week is the host coaching, and it is all about really working smarter, not harder. And everybody will say this, and you don't realize it until it happens to you. But they say that host coaching is where you earn your paycheck, and the party is simply where you go to pick it up. So if you do the coaching of your host in advance and do it thoroughly, you should see astronomical results. And so tell me if this sounds familiar. Have you ever had a party where maybe it canceled the day before it was supposed to happen? Anybody?
Yeah.
Ever had a party that had 2 people attend and she expected 10?
Me.
Me too. Ever had a party? Those are 2 of the big red flags when I'm talking with a new consultant, and they'll tell me like, oh my gosh, yeah, my host's got 15 people coming, and then the day after the party we connect and we do a coaching call, and she said, oh, she only had 2 people there, or they canceled the night before. Major host coaching red flag, because that's what happens. And so what exactly is host coaching? It is basically where you guide that host to do the steps that she needs to do to have a successful party. So if you were blindfolded and couldn't see anything, could you make a basket from the foul line? Could you shoot a basket from 50 yards and get it through the hoop? Probably not, because you don't know what you're doing. You can't see what you're aiming for. And that's the equivalent of a host who's just, you book the party with her. What would happen if you just booked a party for, say, July 15th and simply showed up on the doorstep on July 15th and didn't do anything between now and then? What would be the result?
She wouldn't know what to do and be prepared.
You'd be lucky if she was home. She'd probably be out shopping. She would have forgotten all about it.
Yeah.
Right? So, Crystal, you've been a longtime host of mine, and I kind of try to, even with new folks, new consultants, I always offer them a kickoff show so that I can demonstrate for them, here are the things that you're going to be doing to support your hosts. And I do all the host coaching steps. I have a host coaching system. Yes, I tweak it every once in a while and fiddle with it here and there, but over almost 18 years, I still use a checklist for every single host. It's gone from a paper version to an electronic version. And when I slip and I don't get all my tasks on my checklist done, I can tell. I can definitely tell. So a very well host coached show is going to have much higher sales. It's going to have many more people attend. What else? If you've really host coached, what kind of differences will you see in your business? What kind of differences? Let's say you have a party that's not well host coached and one that is. What will be the major differences?
More connection, and you've had more communication with the host, and you're friendly, and you've updated her on everything, and you coached her along so she'd have a good turnout.
Yeah, you're going to have, so the actual physical, measurable, tangible differences, you're going to have more people attend. So you'll have 15 versus 3, for example, which results in more orders. So your sales are higher. So it's $1,000 party versus a $200 party. What else does that impact when you host coach really well?
You probably also have a better chance at a recruit because you've had more times to plant seeds with her.
Mhm.
To plant seeds, absolutely. And you know, it's all in the numbers. If you have 15 people in the room, you're likely to have, they say like 1 out of 10. So you'll have 1 to 2 recruit leads versus 0. What else will you have more of?
More bookings.
You'll have more bookings. Usually, again, the numbers don't lie. Usually 1 out of every 5 people will book a party. So if you have 15 people in the room, you're likely to leave with 3 bookings versus none if you only have 2 or 3 people. What else do you have more of?
More outside orders.
You have more outside orders. So if you host coached her to personally invite and talk with people, to invite 30, 40, 50 or more people, knowing that, you know, and you've coached her to expect that she's only going to have 1 out of 4, maybe 1 out of 5 people who will actually attend. Those other 4 folks, if she offers them the link or the catalog, they'll place an order. If she never offers it to them, they're not likely to order. So yeah, you'll have much more outside orders. What else? You guys are doing great. What else will you have more of at a well host coached party?
If you communicate with your host, your next host, she can say, yes, that hostess is very good. You know, that consultant is pretty good. She follows through and keeps in contact.
You're going to have a very engaged, excited, happy host who is
Yes.
going to absolutely, unquestionably refer you to her friends. She's going to tell her friends, yeah, you need to have a party with my girl. She's going to take really good care of you. She'll guide you along the whole way. Right. She's going to
Right.
speak to you. She's going to advocate. Yeah. A well host coach party, that host will go out and get you bookings from people who didn't even get a chance to attend.
Right.
Okay, because she knows that that they'll be taken care of, and she knows what's in it for her. Okay, so you can see across the entire board, if you're struggling with getting your show schedule where you want it to be, you're struggling because you want to promote and move up the career path, if you want to raise your show average, if you want to increase your paycheck, if you want to increase your income, post coaching really solidly, like spend a whole month doing like 150% post coaching, and several months from now you will see the effects. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into it a little more details. The screens that I'm sharing with you were put together by another director who helps us kind of do these 6 weeks to success programs, but they're loaded with really good info, just like last week's on bookings. Did you guys see all those tips? They were, I mean, it went on and on. They were so helpful. For me, I found them really helpful. So for host coaching, you definitely want to start at the party, and meaning that when you're out cooking tonight and the folks in the room are booking their parties for a week from now or for this weekend or a month from now, you want to start the host coaching process right there. I have actually, when I'm in my groove and I'm really working it well at a party, I will be doing my full service checkout and say that it's Shaughnessy, and I'm saying, Shaughnessy, did you have a good time tonight? And I ask her, would she like info? First thing I always ask is, do you want info about doing Pampered Chef? You should always offer the opportunity before you offer a party. Did you know that?
Start at the top and work your way down.
Start at the top. Offer the big fish, and if she doesn't go for the big fish, offer the smaller fish. Makes no sense to offer a party. Like, hey, do you want to cook with should we do some cooking with you and your friends next time? If she says no to hosting, then you come back with, oh, and would you like to do Pampered Chef? She's like, I just told you I didn't want to do a party. Why would I want to do Pampered Chef? So you always offer the opportunity first, and you know that most people are going to decline, and that's fine. Just be ready to say, well, no problem. If you don't want to do Pampered Chef, are we going to cook with you and your friends? Would you let me help you with a great big shopping spree? So boom, when they say yes and you book a party at the show, one of the things you could do is you can host coach all of your bookings from that party who are putting future dates on the calendar all at once. So rather than start in and say, oh, and here's your packet, and here's what we'll do this, and you need to over-invite and all this, you say, you know what, that's great. I'm gonna hold your date. Do you need to run off right away? If not, get something to eat, and I'm gonna gather all of my new hosts together and give you guys all the details to how to have a fabulously great show all at once. As soon as I'm done taking everybody's order. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay, so you hand her a packet, say, don't set this down, don't lose it. I'm holding you that date. Then you go about and you book the next person, and maybe you take the rest of the orders. Then you kind of gather up all your hosts in one group and say, okay, you guys, I'm so excited. You've all picked dates on my calendar. Would you all like to know how to have a fabulous party? And that right there is my magic bullet for host coaching. When I am host coaching somebody, and I learned this long ago from Belinda Ellsworth, the first thing that you want to do in every instance is get permission to coach them. Which means, would you like me to tell you how to have a fabulous party? So Crystal, if you were booking a party with me and I asked you if you wanted me, would you like to know how to have a great party?
Right. Yes, I would.
Wait for the answer. What you just did is you gave me permission. You gave me permission to tell you what to do. Now I'm going to tell you what to do.
Okay.
But if you skip that step and you get started and you dive in and you're like, okay, you want to invite 40 people and you want to make sure to get the groceries. I'm going to give you a shopping list, and all those folks, they're not all going to come. So you're going to collect orders. I want you to collect at least 10 outside orders, 5 before the party, 5 after the party. And then don't forget to share the link, and we'll set up a Facebook. And how are you feeling right about now, Crystal, if I'd have just dove right in and done all this to you?
Overwhelmed and
oh my gosh.
What do I get myself into?
What did I do? Right?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Because as humans, as people, we're busy. And you know what? We get told what to do by our boss, by our kids, by our husband, by our, everybody tells us. Da, 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 da. So slow down just a little bit and get permission. Get permission. Okay. So I'm going to have you hang tight just a little bit there. Thank you, darling. She's emptying the dishwasher and it's noisy. Sid, did you hear me? Can you give it a few minutes before you finish that project? Thank you. Appreciate it. Awesome. Okay. So at the start of the party, then you can kind of start the host coaching with some good questions that will help get her excited and help you find out what her objective is. You do want to make sure that you know, why are they booking this party? You want to do a good job of, if you start right in and you're desperate to show her the rock and set a party where that's what you're featuring, and she couldn't care less because you didn't ask, and instead she wants the cookware. And if you don't ask, you're not going to know what to feature for her. And it is really important that you kind of customize and find out what she has on her wish list, what she's interested in learning. So you can ask, what did you love about the party tonight? What products are you most excited about?
Yeah, they're digging into the ground now.
Exactly. And what's on the top of your wish list, right? Okay, and then you can move into more of the logistics, but these things right here, those are really important. Also, what's the best way for me to contact you?
Mm-hmm.
If you've been, I heard this just the other day. Kate was commenting about, I've been sending this host text. Or Crystal, weren't you talking about the girl who your show last week? And
no way to no talk by phone. Everything's by text.
Yeah, and so if you're all focused on the phone and she responds via text, or maybe she responds via Facebook Messenger, you can host coach somebody entirely via text, via Facebook Messenger, via email. You can. You just need to know what is the best way. So you need to ask that question.
Right.
And then take note of her answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you do want to be sure to set an appointment to talk tomorrow, the day after you book the party, to go over a lot of the extra details if you cover it all the night of the party. Okay, good so far?
And just
Yeah.
a little side note, it's just as important to do this with your virtual hosts. I've recently started calling them and talking with them on the phone just one time, just to kind of, get to know them a little bit, talk about what their expectation is with the party, what their wish list is. And it really puts that personal connection that you kind of miss.
Hello.
That you kind of miss with just Messenger, into that, to where they're going to work harder. They know how to do it. You're giving them tips. And so I highly encourage, if you're doing virtual shows, to talk to your, set a time to talk to your host at least one time towards the beginning of the party, by phone.
Yeah, I need to learn more how to do those. I'm not sure. I've never experienced one of those kind of parties. I would like to. So that's still on my list.
That's great, Crystal, because they say all the statistics show that.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Mm,
You guys can't hear me all of a sudden?
I can hear you. I saw a phone, like somebody hung up or something.
Now we can hear you. We couldn't hear you.
Yeah, now I
Yeah,
can.
you were so quiet there.
Oh, fabulous. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Yay.
Yeah.
Technology.
So I never had one of those parties. I was saying those.
Yeah, we did catch that.
Yeah. So one of these days.
A couple different things.
I still can't hear you very well.
Wow, I didn't move and I didn't change anything. You guys, can you hear me now?
Very low.
Very low. Okay.
There, that's better.
Nothing changed. Alrighty. So consultants who do both live and virtual parties, they say their businesses are the strongest. Just saying, just heads up.
Yeah.
And the other thing is there's a ton of virtual parties that have already been done. And so for like Shaughnessy does a lot, which a lot of the gals on her team do. If you connect with somebody and have them add you to one that's finished, you can kind of browse around and scroll through and see the posts and the time frames on them and the interaction, what the, how many likes there are, what questions the customers came up with, how the consultant answered it. So all of that is there. So
Where do I see those?
so make a note or post on our team page. Say, will somebody add me to a virtual party that's done, that's over? And then you want to make sure not to post in it because her customers will see your posts.
Okay.
But that's a good way to just browse through one. And the other thing is the virtual party training. Have you taken the both?
No, I haven't looked at that one yet. I've seen it on the PCU.
Really well done. Really well done. So that's an organized way to get training on both live and virtual parties.
Okay.
And then also how to see one done, and then post on the team page and have somebody invite you to one. So
Okay. Yeah, I've been reading on the fundraisers, that one that you posted that I was looking at about the percentages and what you do and all that. So I was watching that video that you did, that you posted for me.
So make a note about that, and we'll get you up and running on virtual ones. So there's a lot of things you can say and scripts that are available on the website for your host coaching, your host, your first time, the first sort of instruction that you give to your host. But this part is the most important, and it's that basically you need to set the expectation with your hosts that you are only going to get a fraction of the people you invite are actually going to be there to cook with us at your party, whether it's, and that goes in a virtual environment too. Shaughnessy, what do you strive for when you're doing a virtual party? You have them invite how many, so that how many will click going?
No less than 150, so that at least 30 will click going, and then on average about 10 of those will order.
Wow.
And,
A lot of numbers, huh?
so my host that, some hosts, like today, for example, I had a host, her party officially kicked off yesterday. We've had the pre-party before. She had only invited 11 people. And so 3 or 4 had clicked going. Well, obviously, she's not going to have a successful show and get the $650 with 4 people. So I sent her, I have some words that I send them. If they haven't invited a lot of people, it says, it explains that they want to invite 150. And then it also says, after they invite the people, if they still don't have 30 going, to look at the people that have clicked going, or I'm sorry, who have seen the event but not clicked going or not going, and to message them. There's some words I have where it's basically, make sure that you click going to my party so that you can see the games and the tips and the tricks. And there's going to be prize giveaways, and you don't want to miss out. And so usually when they send that out, that brings another few people into the show.
Okay. There's really good techniques, and exactly what to do for virtual host coaching as well as live party. And Crystal, that's why I'm pointing you to the ECU, because it breaks up the party experience both ways, both virtual and live. And also at National Conference, they commented, they just put out the list of the classes they're going to offer. And in each one of those topics, they're going to have someone who does live parties and someone who does virtual parties, so that you'll learn the methods for getting bookings in both arenas, for increasing your sales average in both arenas, getting recruit leads in both areas. So they're similar, but there's special techniques like Shaughnessy is talking about that work better in a virtual environment. Hey, we had somebody else joining our call. Who's there?
What?
Who's 530-416-0368? We've got a stalker. Okay. Just wondering who else was there. Alrighty.
It's all Kate there for a minute. Was she on there?
I didn't see her. Yeah.
I just saw her picture pop up there.
Oh, was it Kate?
It says that Shaughnessy left the meeting.
Oh yeah, it says she left.
Okay. Got folks coming and going. All right, no problem. So
she's joined again.
I will cut and paste this script and put it in our 6 weeks to success page so that you have this script. But,
Okay. Yeah, I can't go to the seminar. I'm sorry. We have open enrollment. They won't let us go no more. So, and I already been gone. So.
So oftentimes your host, you're going to hear like, oh my gosh, I don't know 40 people, or I don't know 150 people. So this is where the host coaching really comes in, and you can really help them brainstorm and help them think it through. I was on Facebook Messenger with my July 7th host earlier today, and he commented, oh, I invited the gal who lives down the street because I think she might like Pampered Chef. And my response was, of course, fabulous. That's great. Tell her to bring a friend as well. But geez, I sure hope you invited the rest of the neighborhood. Did you invite the rest of your neighbors? No, you didn't? Oh, goodness. I'd hate to be you if they found out that you invited her but didn't invite them. So part of your job is to help them overcome obstacles that they will place in their mind. Like they'll say, what are some of the objections you get? Like, oh, I don't know my neighbors. And so you need to have your stock ready answer for that. I mean, what would you say to a host who says, I don't know my neighbors, therefore in her head, she just kind of assumes she's not going to invite them. How would you respond to help her get past that?
Maybe another neighbor knows the other neighbor, and word of mouth.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And have them each invite a friend, invite their buddies. I would tell them Crystal's story. Crystal held a party last fall and invited all of her neighbors. She invited the guy across the street and the ladies on either side. And do you know that the gals on either side, actually one who lives next door and another gal who was friends with her, the three of them co-hosted, three-way hosted a party that happened 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
And we split it into 3 different parties. One of them was over $1,000. The other was over $700. Another was over $500. Resulted because she invited her neighbors. So don't hold out. You don't know, and I'll say that. I'll say, you really just don't know who's a fan or who's out tearing their hair shopping for cookware and trudging to Bed Bath & Beyond and Macy's and all these places, finding all these, having lots of questions about what cookware to buy, and it was going to be so thrilled with you. Oh my gosh, you're inviting me to your Pampered Chef thing. I'll get a chance to talk with a consultant who can help me, right? Mm-hmm. So my instruction, I'll paint stories like that. I'll paint pictures like that for my hosts in all those situations. So you kind of brainstorm and you'll say to them, ooh, did you invite all your neighbors? And when they answer and say, no, I didn't, then you tell them that little story and say, so please do invite them all. You don't want to end up embarrassed because somebody found out you had a get together and didn't invite them. Did you invite all your coworkers? Same thing. Did you invite all of the family? Did you invite all of your the parents of your kids' friends? Did you invite everybody from your Christmas list? If you go back to when you started Pampered Chef and open up your recipe for success, there's 3 pages of categories to help you brainstorm your beginnings of your customer list, your contact list. Use that. So just use that. It just goes down the categories. People from your job, people from your last job, people from this neighborhood where you live now, people from the last place you live, people on Facebook, people in your cell phone. So you use that for your hosts. And all of a sudden they'll be like, oh, I didn't even think of that person. And it'll get the wheels running. And all of a sudden she'll have a great big wish list, customer list, guest list. Okay, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. But that's a physical process and you have to walk them through that. If you say simply, are you inviting lots of people? And they answer yes. And then the day of the party, 2 people show up and you turn to the host and say, how many people did you invite? And she goes, oh, I invited 5. You're going to be kicking yourself like, gosh, darn it. So you have to ask the right question. Mm-hmm. Because no matter how many people come, she and you both have to go to the same effort. She has to get the groceries. She needs to straighten up the house. She needs to have be ready to have guests over, have beverages out. She's going to buy basically the same amount of food, no matter how many are coming. But do you want to have 2 come or do you want to have 15 come? So much more fun. So the right question to ask is not, did you invite a lot of people? It's different. What's the right question to ask, Crystal?
How many people are going to be there?
How many people did you invite?
Oh, how many people you invite, yes.
How many people did you invite? Not did you invite a lot, but how many?
Okay.
Very specific difference. Because then if she says, oh, I invited 9, or I invited 18, or I invited 23, no matter what the answer is, honestly, here's your response to that. Number 1, you congratulate her for doing a good job. Even if she's invited 5 or 9, you say, wow, that's a great start. And it is, right? You want
right.
What do you do with your kids? When they do something good, you want to
praise them.
To praise what they're doing well. That's a great start. But okay, after having done this for this many years, what we have found is that only about 1 out of every 5 people you invite is actually going to be there. So if you've invited 10, if you were to stop now, I know you're not going to, but if you were to stop now, we will have 2. And it's going to feel really awkward and uncomfortable and they're going to feel pressured and there's just no way around it. So let's avoid that because that's super uncomfortable, and let's look at your list and brainstorm. And let me help you expand your list because nobody's ever offended by being invited. But oh my goodness, if they find out you had a Pampered Chef class and you didn't invite them, let's just avoid that. I'll tell you what, let's let everybody make their own decision about whether they want to come or not. Okay, because you tend to prejudge, don't you?
Right.
You tend to prejudge, oh, Sally doesn't have any money, she's between jobs, or she doesn't cook at home, and you prejudge, you make a decision about whether to invite them based on what you think their situation is.
Mhm.
Let's give them the respect of making their own decision. Be excited and invite everybody you know who eats. Honestly,
Yeah. Everybody eats.
everybody eats. Invite them all. What happens if I said 1 in 5 will attend? What happens if they all attend? What if they break the mold and 100% of their folks attend? What would happen?
More fun, maybe more parties.
Yeah. Isn't it
Well,
going to be a riot? Wouldn't you rather have standing room only and everybody
right.
squeezed in?
Mhm.
Most definitely. Okay. Repeat after me. This is your new mantra. I want you to say this to your host. You guys ready? I do excellent crowd control.
I do excellent crowd control.
And you need to say that in front of the mirror and say it until it sounds utterly confident. Okay, because here's the scoop about host coaching and new consultants. If you're watching this recordings, we've got some new folks in this program. My little secret for you is you want to fake it. You want to fake it because you don't have a whole bunch of shows yet that you've done to be able to tell your host, hey, I've done this and here's what I've learned that you need to over-invite. So you need to be the voice of authority, but you don't have a lot of actual experience yet. So you need to pretend, because between you and your host, who knows more? Who knows more about how to make this work? How to make it to have a successful Pampered Chef show? You absolutely across the board know more.
Right.
So you need to be the voice of authority.
Okay.
And give your host that guidance. You put on your authoritative voice, your mom voice, if you will. You're not condescending and you're not being pushy, but you're being the authority. Because an uncoached host is going to be concerned about things that don't matter. If they're going to be concerned about, oh my gosh, I'm having people to the house. What does the house look like? Do I have enough chairs? How much food do I get? I don't want people to be hungry. They go into host mode. I'm holding a party. I'm having people over. And if you let them live in that mode, they're going to have a gorgeous house, lots of chairs, beautiful food, and not a single soul there. Am I right?
Correct.
Yes. Your job as the consultant is to coach them, to move them away from that and reassure them we're going to have plenty of food. Don't worry about it. You know, like they'll say, oh, we need to double the recipe. No, we don't need to. Okay, you're the voice of authority. No, we do not need to double the recipe. In fact, if we have 20 people there, we're just all going to serve smaller portions. It's going to be fine. You hear that? Hear that voice of authority?
Right.
You want to put out chips and salsa? No problem. Okay. Does that make sense? Is that helpful?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So there's lots of little techniques to help your hosts over-invite and to kind of little crutches, if you will, for host coaching. Things like at the bottom of this one, tic-tac-toe, scavenger hunts. Here's an example of a tic-tac-toe card. There's a free spot, and there's there's 8 things that they need to do. And if they cross them all off, you give them an extra $10 in free product value. Cool. You got some people who are major type A and they want to get a blackout, right? And they want to fill in all the boxes. Show me the boxes. I want to fill in the boxes. This would work really well for them. I'll post this on the page for 6 weeks to success as well. Here's a technique that I started using a couple years ago. This is not my letter, but I modeled mine off of Lisa's. And this is Lisa Noto taught us this, the guilt letter, for lack of a better word. But it is basically, it's a handwritten note that you mail to your host the day after they book. And in my world, I use these cute little cards from Pampered Chef that have envelopes that you can get on the paperwork supply. But if you have a box stationery, it'll work. You sit in front of the TV and just write out a whole, like a dozen of them and then fill in the name when you go to mail it to somebody. But it basically is telling them it's appreciation. Thank you so much for booking your party. I want to make sure it's a success. I want to make sure it's a wildly huge, wonderful, fun success for you. But I also wanted you to know that your party is qualifying me for my trip to Hawaii with my family here. Thank you so much. You are so fabulous. Okay? Whether it's the trip, it's whatever goal you have. If your goal is reaching directorship, if your goal is paying your mortgage, put that in there. And you just make your stock letter, but you're explaining to your host in the clearest terms you possibly can that this party is important and that you take it really seriously and you greatly appreciate them. So it's called a guilt letter, but I have actually walked in the door and had my host tell all of her friends, we're helping her go on a cruise. She goes on a cruise. She's going next April. I heard about it. I saw the pictures, and we're helping her. Isn't that cool? This gal actually, because of this letter. Yeah. So you certainly want to make sure that you use your time wisely with your business. Takes a little bit extra time to handwrite these, but it does work.
So it says you send it 24 hours before the party and then you send one after the party?
No, you send it 24 hours after they pick their date.
Oh, I see. Okay, when they pick their date. Okay.
24 hours of them booking the party. You also
24 hours
the very next day after and verify, confirm the date. We booked it last night at Sally's party. I just want to verify that date works great. I've got it locked in on my calendar for us. So you don't want to book a party and then wait a week before they ever hear from you.
I see. Okay.
This accomplishes that. Plus that call right after. Okay.
But you use those thank you notes from Pampered Chef?
I do, but that was after I ran through my own stationery that I had here. So they're just little note cards, and they come with envelopes. Okay. Yeah. Because I just ordered some from Pampered Chef. Mm-hmm. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're great. The first time, and then I'll have some of my own. So. Super. So another really important thing is what they call layered invitations. So you're giving these instructions to your host who's inviting people. So one thing is that you tell her to send them a text and then leave a voicemail saying, I just sent you a text. Or you leave a voicemail and then send a text saying, I just left you a voicemail. You cross-reference what you're doing. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. They invite people to the Facebook event, and then they message them saying, I invited you to the Facebook event for my Pampered Chef party. That's called layered or cross-referencing your invite. Okay? So you don't, and that's the instructions you give the host to do that. There is mini catalogs work super as an invitation if they physically want to mail or carry something around with them. So if they mail a mini catalog as an invitation, then they would send a text or an email or something saying, I mailed you an invitation. Watch your mailbox. Okay. This works really well in doing your customer care calls as well. So if you're sitting there making phone calls, making your contacts each day, and you leave 5 voicemails, then sit there and do 5 texts and say, I just left you a voicemail. Let me know when you get it. You can copy and paste it. Okay. It expounds it doubles and increases the results of your efforts and your host's efforts when you tell her to do it like this. Okay. So a lot of people swear by getting a guest list from their hosts. A lot of people I know who are top performers in our company, excellence achievers all the time, $1 million sellers, consider that a party is not even booked until I get their guest list. Does anybody here do that?
No, but I would like to, but they don't have everybody's email or... you can even send a text. I just need their name and number.
What I do is I send out for my cooking parties, I have a spreadsheet that I send them, and I let them know that I'm emailing them a guest list and they need to fill it out. And I understand that they probably don't have everybody's address, but I tell them that I'm going to send them a text, and I send them a text with the words that just say, hey, I'm super excited having a wine, cheese, and chocolate show with Pampered Chef and would love to send you an invite. Reply back with your address. And that's it. Or address and email, and then have them get it back to me.
So you send them an Excel spreadsheet, or is it in?
I send them an Excel spreadsheet that it's basically like the launch list, with ideas. And then I send, as I'm talking with my host coaching, I send them a text too and say, hey, I'm going to send you a text to text out to the people that you want to invite that you don't have their contact info.
So what you just did is you said, I'd love to get the address list, but my people don't have that contact information. So the recommendation I'd say is I want you to fake it. I want you to assume as if they do, or you're going to help them get it and going to help them have a bigger party. And people who collect address lists, they physically mail out. Do you do this, Shaughnessy? Do you mail invitations for your hosts?
I mail out mini catalog invitations for them.
Invitation. And if you look on the website, Pampered Chef's got this all set up for us. They have a label that you can print out from your right to your printer that fits on the mini catalogs and works as an invitation. Come to the party and this person's house, this address, this date and time. Here's her link and her phone number and her email. So
Is that those labels under the business and supplies?
I think there are hard copy versions of those that you can order and you can print them out, but there's a template on the website that sticks to a page and you buy the kind of labels, and then you type into the template and then you print it to your printer, and then you the mini catalog and put your stamp in it.
Okay.
It's certainly, I know consultants and directors over the years who've said, there's no way that I would incur that expense and take the time to mail invitations for my hosts. And the ones who have done it, their businesses have just been revolutionized. So don't discount it and look on the website because it gives you all the things that you need to do that. So it basically, you'll end up earning all the trips you'll promote. You'll end up earning excellence, everything if you start doing that, just saying. Okay. All right. And then, so that's the part about getting a guest list. If you think you need to, you can always offer an extra incentive. One common one is, say, if you have, by the day before the party, if you've got confirmed RSVPs from over 15 adults, not kids, but adults, then I will make the chocolate lava cake for us as well. I'll add this second recipe. If you want to bring the ingredients, you can, but oftentimes you don't even have to bring the ingredients. You just tell the host that if you've got 15 confirmed guests, get me a chocolate cake and a frosting and eggs and oil and water, and we'll make the chocolate lava cake. Your friends will flip out, but you got to have 15 confirmed.
Okay, so they still buy the ingredients for the free cake, or do you bring it?
You can do it either way, but it works if you tell them that you can put it in their shopping list and bring it to their attention. Say, if you've got 15 confirmed, grab these ingredients as well, and I will teach you how to make this amazing cake.
Okay.
You don't have to incur the cost of it. People will go out of their way to get 15 confirmed so that you'll teach them that cake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep, and you know that one. You love it. Okay, so what do you put in a host packet? At the very least, I do 3 catalogs, 3 outside orders, so that if your party by chance, if it's a live party and it can't happen on that date, they still have what they need to have a catalog party. At least 3 catalogs, at least 3 outside order forms, 2 or 3 mini catalogs. There's the brochure about doing Pampered Chef, the kit credit coupon. Okay, and that needs to be part of your host coaching. Are you aware that did you see in your host packet that there's a coupon for you to get a discount off the kit with your party? That's something we should talk more about. Okay, so whatever you put in your host packet, you want to be sure to discuss with them or bring it to their attention. Otherwise, the day of the party, they'll say, oh, by the way, here's your host packet back. So you can recycle it. They never opened it. Or they just reached in and pulled out catalogs. Okay. So you can actually, if you are in an area of the country where people do mailed invitations a lot, there still are postcard invitations. There is a host dashboard. Somebody post on the 6 Weeks to Success page. I'll post. I've got several pictures that describe the host dashboard. Are you guys all aware that your hosts all have this really awesome dashboard that guides them?
I don't understand it. I need more on that because I get mixed up with the dashboard thing and the pamperedchef.com. I don't understand it. I need more training on that.
Okay. And that's perfectly fine, Crystal. You're new, so these are good things that we're pulling out here. I hope you're making a list for our coaching call, and I can answers to these guys. Okay. In general, I would tell you to set yourself up as a host on your website. Set yourself up with a fake party so that you can see, as the host, you can see these things.
I tried that, but it didn't work, and I didn't know what I did, but it added something to one of the other parties I had. I was trying to work it out, and I had to delete from that party, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I didn't understand.
We're due, definitely. And if you're coming to Rescue Night tomorrow, we'll just sit down and look at it right here on my computer. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, if I get out of the doctor's in time, I'm hoping to. I'll be there.
And then this personalized handwritten note, like I said, I mail that separately as what I call my guilt letter. But that's in general what goes in a host packet. And is everybody using the cool party planning host folders that they made for us?
Is that the one that has the pockets inside?
Yep.
Yeah, I just had to order more because I only got 2 left. So
that's a good thing. You must be booking lots of parties.
Trying. I think I have 2 or 3 left, and I have 2 parties I need to give them to. So I'm if I get anything in between real quick. So my other ones are August out, so I have time. I'm just holding them till I get my new stuff this week, I hope.
I will recommend when you're setting up host packets, do it for
I can't hear you.
Do it for the whole season when you're setting up host packets.
Okay.
Like 40 or 80. You want to
Hey.
10 parties a month. It's a set up.
Sorry.
Host.
Hey.
Okay, do it all at once, and then just watch that pile diminish, and that'll be a good indicator that you're on track with what you want to be doing.
Okay, yeah, no, I did it when I got my kit. I filled them all. I've packed them all up. So I should have an order coming this week. I'm hoping by the end of the week. So
now there are different programs that you can use that can help you make invitations for your parties. Would you like to see a quick and easy little way that I do the invitations? Because these are done like in Red Stamp or Canva, and they're cute, but there's something that somebody went through and created. But I really want you to spend your time on income producing activity. I don't want you to spend your time becoming an expert at computer design. So would you like to see how I do it?
Red Stamp is no longer in business, just so you know.
Red Stamp is done right, which is why they use Canva or what are some of the other ones? Shaughnessy. Show you. If I go to one of my shows, here's Mary and Lori's party for, this is on July 14th is their party. So you know when you set up the party, it's pamperedchef.com/party/ and then there's a bunch of gobbledygook numbers and letters. I put, in this case, I had co-hosts. I usually will put the host's first name. If it was Lori on July 14th, I put Lori 0714, 0714. If it was Crystal hosting on the 20th, it would be Crystal 0720. That's the name that I make this link for their party, this one right here.
Right, that's what I do.
Okay, good deal. And then you go to that party. So once you've made it, open a browser window and go there. And my computer's a little slow because I am recording and I've got Zoom going at the same time. So give it a second. Once it comes up, That right there is your invitation. And if you take a snapshot of that, I grab it just like this. I use the Clipper app, and I copy it. Then if you take that little image, you can save it into your computer or into your phone and text it or email it right to your host. Does that make sense?
You use the little clip thing? Oh, the little cut and, yeah, the little snap. Oh, yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here's one I sent to Mary and Lori just earlier today, and their party's on the 14th of July. And so I sent them an email that says, save the date, Lori and Mary, looking forward to forward this to everyone you know who eats. It's a salad in a jar class. So I wrote this, I typed that, but then I pasted this picture and I send that to them. And then
Okay, that's the way I do mine. I pick a picture or something and then I send it to them.
Right. And so the picture that you're picking can be exactly what shows up when you click on the link for their party, because Pampered Chef has formatted this and made it all gorgeous for us. Look at it, it's a salad in a jar party, and the picture I put on the party has got salads in a jar, and it's pretty and colorful and gorgeous. So that's what I use. And I give that to them via Facebook, via email, and via text, and I tell them to forward it. It's a picture. So you do want to give them the link separately so that it hyperlinks, but you can use that picture. Does that make sense?
You mean the ones with the salad, right? Because that's, I always put a picture with this exactly like you did.
Right. Whatever theme you pick, Pampered, you can customize
Right.
the party when you're setting it up. Customize it with the picture that supports your theme. Snip a snapshot of that and then save it and then use it for all your host coaching.
Yeah, and it goes, you know, when I put their email, you know, or the little thing, pamperedchef.com/party/ their name, and then if I go back in and I look at theirs,
Mm-hmm.
you don't see shop until the very bottom. I thought shop would be at the top, but it just says RSVP at the top. Yeah, right there. Yeah, and the shop is down at the bottom, right there. Okay, so that is normal. Okay.
I just revised this. This is a whole new guest landing for show pages. So
Okay. Yeah, that's how mine look. Okay.
you set up a show for yourself to practice.
Can't hear you.
When you set up a show for yourself to practice, kind of do go through all these screens and try them out so that you're comfortable with what they're going to do. So you want to tell your host, you know, make sure everybody scrolls down if they want to do their shopping now.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how all mine look. I've been setting them up just like that. So.
Very, very good. Cool. Alrighty. So communication is huge, and there's some, you know, basically to-do lists of what to say when you're contacting your host. Basically, you want to be in contact with them from day one and at least every week prior to the party. And so here are some examples of that, and it does give your must-do coaching list. Contact your hosts every week. Send them a save the date with red stamp or Canva or a copy of the invite, just like I showed you. You go over all the things that we've been talking about. This just basically puts that into a list. And like I did last week, I'll copy and paste these into our page so that you can see. I will point out this one right here. There used to be this resource that Pampered Chef printed, and you could order it for your parties, and it was called a cooking show tally form. Shaughnessy and Carol, I'm thinking this is before your time, but
I don't recognize that.
Doesn't sound familiar. There's if you grab a host folder, one of the folders that you use your host packets in, there's a version of it in there, and it basically is like when you're sitting down and you're at the end of the party right there at their house before you leave. Let's say you do a quick total and you're at $450. The concept is that you sit down with them at that point, right after the last person has left and before you leave their house. You sit down and you show them, okay, here's where we are right now, $450, for example. And at $450, if we were to stop right now, how much would you have in free for a $450 party? This is math.
How much is free for $450?
Yep. And give you
$55.
$55. So that's great. You can get your salad chopper, your mason jar set, and everything. So super. But guess what? We're at $450. If you just get one more order and we hit 500, now you're at $90. And then if we get a couple more orders and we go to $600, now you're at $115. And then from 600, you go up, the next level is 700, and you're at 140. So you're showing them step by step by step the next 3 levels of the host reward from where they are when you actually finish the party. So it helps them visualize what they can gain by making a list of people to follow up with and using the day or so after the party to follow up on all those folks. They'll be like, you sit there and say, so who told you that they were going to come and wasn't able to make it? Who knew that they wanted to place an outside order and you haven't heard from them yet? Who was planning? Who left here tonight with their catalog to show their sisters and their mom? And you help them actually physically make a list of all the people to follow up with. And if everybody on that list places an order and it averages $50 per person or more, you can see they would jump up $200, $300, $400 more. My host parties always add at least another 50% or more in the days following the party. And if you do that process with them, so there, like I said, there used to be a form that you could do it, follow along, but you can take the catalog. You can just take the catalog and walk them through it. Okay, you're right here, which means that you've got this much in free and this many half price choices. But look at this, just one more order and you hit the next level, here you are. And then when you hit the next level, here you are. And then the next level, oh my gosh. So let's make a list and you just write it on the piece of paper or write on the catalog. Who told you they were going to come? Who couldn't make it? Who knows they're collecting orders from their family? And you make this list and it's right there in front of them. And you say, that's your to-do list. Check with everybody. Tell them about your favorites. Tell them they get a free ice cream scoop when their order hits $75. If you have somebody who's got questions you can't answer, send me their name and phone number. I'll call them and help them with their order. You're providing really good service and really good coaching. And if you do it right at that minute, and the last person's walked out the door before you leave their house, makes a gargantuan amount of difference. Okay, so that is a really, really good habit to get into. If you're watching this on recording and want to see a copy of that form, I know I still have one wandering around for Camper Jeff discontinued actually printing them, but you can use the catalog to do it. All right. So as we kind of start to wrap up here, we've kind of covered that you want to do your effective host coaching with cooking shows and also with your virtual parties. At least 30 going results in 15 to 20 active on the show, results in enough orders to make it a good party. And don't forget that good host coaching needs to happen, whether it's a fundraiser, whether it's a freezer workshop, whether it's a catalog show, a virtual show, a live party, always. The Pampered Chef's done surveys over the years of our past hosts. And the number one thing that hosts told Pampered Chef that they wish had happened for their party, they wish they'd heard more from their consultant. They wish they'd had more guidance. They wish they'd been in contact more often. And that's host coaching. That's host coaching. It's that support. Because those hosts there, if they feel enough about this to book a party, they want it to be successful. And you have the tools to help them do that. So host coaching is a skill that you can master, and if you really throw yourself into it for your next month's worth of parties, I absolutely dare you to track your parties. Once you ramp up your host coaching, track one party and the ones that generate from it, and the ones that generate from that, and the ones that generate from that. You'll be astounded at the income the growth in your business. So it's all about having more folks attend and much more fun. So is that helpful? Are you guys getting good info out of this?
Yes.
Marvelous. There's lots of imagery out there, whether it's on the website, whether it's on Facebook, to help you kind of do those host coaching. There's little formulas like this. This is specifically for a virtual party. Number of friends that click going. If it's less than 10, you're not likely to get any host rewards. If it's 10 to 15, this is how much you'll get free, and so on. So all kinds of good visuals. There's Facebook pages that have lots of creative Pampered Chefs have made these pictures and made them available for us, and Pampered Chefs love to share. So if you're needing more imagery to support you, I have a folder in the pictures in my cell phone that have like 8 pictures that support my host coaching via text. And I got these pictures from somebody who made them probably 12 years ago, and I've been texting these, using them ever since. Probably time for me to update my pictures, but they work. So a picture says 1,000 words. So if you're kind of challenged and not know what to use for host coaching, shout out to us so that we can share what we already have, because that works. Alrighty. There's a whole bunch of host tips of the day. Somebody put these all together. I used some of them for my host just today. Has anybody on this call seen these or used these before?
No.
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 I did that. This is the folders on my computer.
Or is that on our website, or like?
No, these are
yours.
available via.
Those host tips, I saw that they are in the virtual party training pack now.
Hello.
They're available. Yeah, they're small on the screen. I can't figure out where to make them bigger, but there's just a whole bunch of them. And Pampered Chefs share. We share. We love to share, and folks will let you use their stuff and gladly. So you don't have to recreate the wheel. If you find yourself making a flyer or making a picture or making something, stop and ask first, because no doubt someone's made it, and you don't have to recreate the wheel. Okay. And then this is an area that I've really struggling to get to work on myself, and it's the secret weapon in host coaching these days are videos. You can take your phone and record yourself talking to your host and giving them the coaching, so they can see your face and hear your excitement, and you can send them the video. You can video record and send it to them via text, via Facebook Messenger. You can host coach via video, and that way you can record like 4 different host coaching calls and just keep recycling them and using them for all your hosts. How cool would that be? Super efficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should partner to do that. I would love to do that. I'm still very nervous about video, but working on it. Okay.
Mom, can you tell me something?
There are checklists for host coaching on the website to help you with that. Here's one quick idea that we'll finish up with. This will be the last thing, and then we will wrap it up. Whoops. And this, somebody's using a mechanism to track what they've done for their hosts in their calendar. So this is a picture of somebody's calendar and the party, and she's got a little label that she's printed for herself that she uses for every host, and she checks things off as she's done them. So GL is the guilt letter. The web is that she set the party up on her website. Face FB is that she set up the Facebook event and scheduled the posts. Kit is they mailed the host kit to them. Red stamp, again, red stamp is basically just an invitation that they've sent to the host so they can send it out to their folks. Menu, they went over the grocery list for the demo and gave her a grocery list. And then this is follow-up for after the party. I followed up with a thank you card or checked in with the host after. Can you see? So that's just one way of doing yourself a little checklist. the bottom line is that you want to have a system. You want to have a system in place that you use for every party you do, and you want to be consistent. And when I teach this to everybody, you can do 1 party a month or 30 parties a month. And if you have a good system that keeps you in on top of the steps that you need to do for every party, and you check it off and use that system, your host will not know that you're doing 30 parties a month and she's just one of 30. They'll feel like you are their sole, she's your sole focus. And they'll feel very supported. And they'll be more likely to have a really successful party. So systems are key. There's, like I said, if you go into the PCU under host coaching, you're going to find the checklists and all those kinds of things. So you don't have to create it yourself. It's right there on the website. Crystal, did we talk about this? Are you using a checklist from Pampered Chef's website for your parties?
No, I want to.
It would make a big difference, huh?
Yeah, I like that.
That way you don't get like, oh my gosh, the party's tomorrow, and oh geez, I didn't send her shopping list. Oh.
How do you the shopping list, do you just copy everything out of the recipe? Because some stuff isn't, you have to just copy and make a list yourself, right? And send it to her?
No, not necessarily. If you're using a paper.
I'm sorry? Hello? No, I can't hear you.
Crystal, can you hear me?
No, I can't. Oh, yeah, now I can. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're accessing a recipe on our website,
yes,
open it up. At the top will be the ingredients. Then there will be directions on how to cook it. And then underneath that, there should be a shopping list.
Okay, I'll check because I didn't see it last time I did it. Okay.
Okay, take a look if there's, is that, Carol and Shaughnessy, is that pretty much consistent? There's stuff on all the recipes?
This is not going to work.
I don't think they're hearing me right now. So take a look at that. And then when you're sending out a shopping list, if you're sending it for again and again, you can reuse that, whether you're emailing it or texting it. So if you do type it out or adjust it, reuse it the next time.
Okay.
We're leaving right now.
All right. So we're getting close to needing to wrap up here. We've gone over a lot of information. And I just want to make sure you know your homework. We're building the pillars of success. We're working on this week. We've got some background noise here. So if you've got background noise, hit that mute button, please. And the skill is our host coaching.
I'll be there for your birthday.
You're going to build those skills. We're already building on, and we're 3 weeks into our 6 weeks for success. We've been building those skills of how to prospect, how to get bookings. So now we're on how to host coach. And these are the ways to build those skills and improve them. So definitely using your tools at home. Coming to team meetings. We do have our recipe night tomorrow night is a training for our team. We're doing it right here in my kitchen. So if you're not scheduled to come to that, do everything you can to be here.
At school.
And lots of extra training. Shaughnessy, mute button, my friend.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Can you hit the mute button? Thank you. Good deal. But to increase the skills that we're already kind of working on here in our training, be sure that you're taking advantage of the classes in the Pampered Chef University and working with your director. All of these good tools. There's the Saturday Success Talks. I know those have been remarkable, quick little training nuggets that are really, really effective. Your homework for this next week is to listen to the host coaching call, the training that's done by Lisa Noto. She's the one who wrote that guilt letter. She's remarkable. And Michael Yoakley. And take the PCU, the Pampered Chef University course on host coaching. It's under PCU course, host coaching, and then peer sharing resources. And I want you to send your 5 best takeaways to your director. There's also a Google form link that I'll post on the page. You can return your homework in that way by using that link if you'd like.
Oh, can you go back one? Go back, please.
Yep.
Oh, right there. Yeah, 1 second.
Sure thing, no problem. So in the Google link for the homework will prompt you for all the other information that you want to share, is how many books did you get this week, how many shows you did this week, and so on. So take advantage of that. Be sure that you set up a call with your director to go over what you've learned and what you're doing this week. Quick little coaching call. Crystal, you done with that one?
I am, thank you.
Yep, okay. So this should look familiar from last week. So the homework link will prompt you to go through and answer all this. It's really, really helpful to kind of make yourself sit down and like, what did I accomplish this week? And lay it all out and then talk with your director about it. So take advantage of that. We're here for you, and we want to touch base with you via phone, via Zoom, if at all possible. I know text messaging certainly works, but you'll get more value if you're talking live with your director. We covered a whole bunch tonight. So before we wrap up, real quick, everybody give me your best, oh my gosh, wow, new tip or concept or skill that we covered today that you found the most important, the one that's going to make the biggest impact in your business when you implement it. Who wants to go first?
Mine was I caught a glimpse of your Evernote host coaching checklist. So I would definitely want you to share that with me because now I'm moving to Evernote.
And it's grown. It has grown with virtual parties. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's a behemoth. I wouldn't necessarily share it with a brand new consultant any longer. I used to. So new consultants, I recommend they go to the website and use the host coaching checklist from Pampered Chef. But once you kind of got your feet under you, Shaughnessy would be happy to share it with you, no problem. Yeah, easy enough. And good for you. I'm so proud of you with your Evernote progress. Good, good. Crystal, what was your best aha from tonight?
What was I trying to think? About brainstorming and how to voice the authority, but not being rude, you know. This last one was challenging for me. Like I said, we couldn't talk on by phone. She travels a lot in her RV and stuff. So I did emails. I sent emails, and then I found out when I got there, and I sent texts. She goes, I got your text, but I never got any of your emails. I didn't get your, the packet that I sent her online. I set her up, you know, with her Facebook and also not her Facebook because I didn't know how to do that, but now I do. And I got my other two girls on there already, but I didn't know that her email was down. So I just sent her an email, but she didn't get to forward her lists around, you know, because she said her internet was down in her house. So it was a little bit of a hassle with this one. So she didn't want to cook. She just wanted to make her own appetizers, you know, spinach dip and pulled pork and, you know, and I said, well, let's cook, you know, let's cook. You get the ingredients. So she got the ingredients. We make the Zamor's cake with people and they loved it. And she had ice cream. She didn't want the whipped cream to make. So, you know, it was just a little different on this time, but that was good. And about over inviting and about the 24-hour guilt letter, I thought that was interesting, and the layering on the invitation and getting a checklist. So all those.
Sounds like we hit on some things.
I'm sorry?
There's certain kinds of hosts, like the one you had for last week, that you will start to see again and again and again. And
okay.
It sounds like, you know, you'll recognize that kind of host, the host who's like, here's how I want to do it. Here's how I want to do it, right? And now you'll be better equipped to guide her. You can say, we certainly can, but let me tell you is that if we gather everybody around the counter and we make the cake or the dinner together, they're going to have so much more fun. They're going to be engaged, and that's, you know, this is how I know how to show you how to have $1,000 party. Would you like a big Mondo Whopper huge party, right? So, and the, you know, messaging her, sending her a text saying, I just sent you an email. And that way she'd answer the text saying, I didn't get an email. I don't do email, or, right. So
he didn't even answer back on text like a day or two or whatever later. So there was a lot of gaps in between. But you know, we got together and it was fine, and she was happy with everything. She got her pan set on the back of the catalog, and that's what she wanted. I mean, I tried to get her to reach her 650 so she can, you know, get one for her RV and one for the house, but it didn't come out like that. But it's okay. But no, learning different techniques is good. So
She just finished her 30th day last week and is learning so much. But consider that first full month your training time. That's and it certainly has been. So I'm really proud of you. Congratulations for being on this program, and everybody who's listening in and listening to the recording. So delighted with you guys. You're making great progress, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Watch the your 6 Weeks to Success group page for more details about week 3. You're halfway through, and I'm very delighted with you guys. Go through and do the homework so you'll be invited to week 4. And next week's topic, I do believe, is, help me, Shaughnessy, do you know? I'm drawing a total and complete blank. Yeah, but I think it's Carol on, is it Carol on recruiting? So I'll post. Okay, Carol's on recruiting, and that's pretty stunning because she has a recruit who just added a recruit who just added a recruit, so she's clearly the person. So for next Monday night, week 4, I'm recruiting Miss Carol, and thank you guys so much. I'm going to stop the recording and let y'all say goodbye to everybody. Any last questions?
Yes. Where do you post those questions on the homework thing? Did you say in the 6-week program thing?
Yes. So on Facebook, it is the page is called Your 6 Weeks to Success.
Okay.
It's a group on Facebook, and
right.
That's a place where we meet and kind of share information and
okay.
share between classes Monday nights.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank
and what
you.
time is it tomorrow? You said 6?
Tomorrow night, Recipe for Success is at 6:30.
6:30. Okay. I'll see if I get done and I can come over. Do I need to bring anything? I'm sorry.
I will message you on that. Just
okay.